Folks, welcome back to the channel on this lovely late afternoon. I think today is Monday. Doug with Stacking Investments here. Doing a follow-up video to my my thoughts on PMG and AG Stackers videos from a few days ago. PMG put it out there about stack what you like and stay away from the FOMO. And AG Stacker did a follow-up video to that, and then I did my thoughts on the subject to get into the conversation and add to it. Sorry, I had to take a sip of coffee from my favorite coffee cup. And was watching, and AG Stacker put out another video. Awesome video again, there, AG Stacker. And then later this afternoon, I watched the video. Oh my God, I'm at a loss. Mark Lewis. Sorry about that, buddy. Had to think. There's so many channels I watch, but Mark Lewis did an awesome video doing a response to AG Stacker, and he mentioned PMG, AG, Gen X Collectibles, and myself in his video. So, gonna put a link to all their channels down below, and I guess what I want to get into is I want to do a follow-up because I added some stuff into the conversation that to get people some things to think about. And AG Stacker presented that, you know, why do you stack? What are your goals? And in Mark Lewis's video, he was talking about why he stacks and his goals. And everybody's goals are different. You know, they're all different. I like the smaller channels because they're more in tune with what's going on. I like to see what different people are stacking. I've kind of, over the years, like when I got into stacking, I was strictly a stacker, not into numismatics. And what I do is I watch a lot of channels. I've dropped some of the bigger channels because I think they've just went off the rails or off the main path, and have turned more into pumping and getting you into they're pushing the fear of missing out along with the silver shortage, what I think is BS personally. I said it with the first in the early 2020, the so-called silver shortage. You know, I looked at it as, we don't have a silver shortage, there might be a shortage of certain products, and we're seeing that again with what's going on with, you know, so-called shortage of 90%. And I call BS on the shortage. I think it's more in line with there might be a shortage of a certain product you're looking to buy into. I still see it in my area when it comes to press bars. If you want a press 10-ounce bar of, say, Sunshine Mint, or, you know, name your company, press as far as a press bar, they're a little hard to come by, and when you see them in LCS, you need to buy them or they'll be gone. I talked to my LCS about this when the first shortage, and I said because they could not get the press bars, they had to pay a premium, but they could get all they wanted of the poured silver bars from Italian Mint, and there was some other mint they were getting. They got all they wanted of the poured bars. I mean, they just literally, they'd sell down and they'd have a monster box of 10-ounce bars on the way from whatever the two mints were. And I was talking to him about press bars, and I said, you know, press bars are probably more popular, and that's why they're harder to get a hold of. You know, not that there's a silver shortage, but just the fact that press bars are more popular than the poured bars are. And every time they get, you know, they can have 20 10-ounce poured bars in the showcase, and if they get, 2, 5, or 10 press bars in, press bars are gone by the end of the day or early the next morning. They're just gone. And they've seen it, and they agree that the press bar, at least for where I'm at, press bars are more popular and will outsell a poured bar any day, even though it's the same weight. But back to the topic. Sorry, getting some more coffee. I said some things in my last video, bringing up some points about breaking off some of your stack with the high premiums, your stash and cash to buy a dip and all that. And I want to clarify that breaking off 20% of your stack to play with and sell and hold your profits to reinvest on the dip, that's only going to apply to the and that's not being a financial advisor and not saying anything, but my thoughts on it are, when you do that, you are taking a risk. If you sell on the high, or what you think is the high, because you'll be extremely lucky to peg it just right, high and lows. You're extremely lucky, and you're not gonna hit the highs and lows every single time. It's a game. But getting back to it, that's not going to apply to somebody who only has 100 ounces stacked up. You're not going to want to, if you got 101 ounce rounds, you're not going to want to take 20 of them and sell when you think it's at the high, and then wait for the pullback and buy back in. That's not going to be for you. That's more for I don't like to use it, I don't want to say advanced, but it's going to apply more to somebody who has 1,000 ounces or more stashed back. That's when that's the kind of people that, you might want to play with 20% of your stock. If you follow my what's in the box things, I always state that, part of my opening spiel is, I determine if it goes in an album collection, if it goes in my permanent stack, or if it goes in the box for future sell, trade, or upgrade for gold. And that's what I do. When I get the stuff, I make that determination. Sometimes you see me put it in an album collection. Sometimes you see me just leave it on the set, and I close out the video and I move on to the next. But I gather that stuff up and I determine, is this something I want to keep long term? If it's something I want to keep long term, I move it over to that. And then if there's any question that, whether I like it or I don't like it, it goes in that box for that sole purpose of sell, trade, or upgrade for gold. I've pulled out of that stash to play the GSR. I've done the GSR both ways. For new viewers, GSR is the gold to silver ratio. I've traded silver to get gold, and then I turn around and I sold the gold and used the money to buy back into silver. And it increased my stack. I didn't hit the highs, I didn't hit the lows, but I was able to almost double the amount of silver that I originally started with when I made that play. And that play was about a year span in between. So, I felt it was a good play when I did it, and I saw the value of the gold coins that I traded back in. I saw a price spike in those. Gold was hitting up there. It hit briefly at like 2070 midday one day or whatever, and that's when I decided to let me sell these, because the numismatic value had seen a jump in that year span. And it worked out for me. It may or may not work for you. That's a decision you got to make. But I guess with AG Stacker, which Mark Lewis was responding to, AG Stacker's video today about, why do you stack and, what's your goals? Well, I look at my numismatics as what I will potentially pass down. Those are something I will always work on and try to do upgrades. I'm set out. I have a more urgent goal to pay off my house. That's why I'm selling out of my future sell and trade box. I'm selling what I'm willing to let go of. I just see a selling opportunity right now, and it's working out well. And I'm using my silver that I put back and I talk about strategically buying, and that's what went in that box. Things that I thought had potential over just the generic, stacking up generic, Buffaloes in a tube or Britannias in a tube or Maples in a tube. I went beyond, and I looked for built-in value, something that I was purchased, but I saw, hey, there's added value. This is cheap. And, I see some added value in there, or I see a coin for, hey, this, going through the junk bins, and I'm finding coins to finish collections or add to collections or start a new collection. I'm looking for dates that are harder to find and things like that. But I see an opportunity to sell part of that, to get into that stack and sell it, take the profits and move those, not only the purchase price, but also the profits, and move that into the fund to pay my house off. I was set to do that at the end of this month, but weather and a couple other things like putting a tin roof on my house kind of got in the way of that. So I moved and it's okay to change your goals. I moved it back a couple months, and right now I'm on par, probably end of July, the end of July is my target. I'm on schedule to meet that target. I'm selling really good at the flea market. I have a great following of collectors and other stackers that, I set up in the same spot every weekend. They're coming to me. Sometimes some of them come to me first thing in the morning. They know exactly when I have everything out. They want to see what I brought new. No, I have not taken everything out and just threw it out there and let them have a free-for-all. No, even though I have that box for sale, I actually go through and break it down even further. Do I want to hold on to this for a little while longer? Do I see do I see more upside in the future for a certain item? Or, hey, this is what I think is at its peak. So I've got everything from, and I diversified my stack too. So I've got everything from sterling, rings and bracelets that I saved from being melted. I'm selling those. I'm making really good profit on that. You saw a video. I had some proof Benjis. I actually thought I've sold more than half of those. I paid $7 a piece. I'm selling them for 20, so that's almost a triple my money investment over, just buying those, putting them away, holding them. I see a perfect opportunity to sell on those. So, and they're extras, and there's nothing fancy about them. They're not going to grade real high, so I hate to let them go, because I'd rather have proofs in my 90% stack versus run-of-the-mill, the run-of-the-mill circulated coinage. But I'm taking advantage and taking profits for the greater goal of paying off the house. So I'm willing to let those go. That was my main intention of buying those in the first place. I'm selling some ASEs because I think now's a good time. Yeah, I know premiums are high. Nobody wants, most people have put hey, I'm not buying them at the $47 to $50 a piece. Premiums are just way too high. I see a perfect opportunity to sell some. I'm not selling them all. I'm starting with book 13, and I'm starting to sell some of those out. I still have the other books, which I have dipped into. I've pulled some coins out to get my 93S, but that again was for a specific goal. But I'm letting go of some stuff, but I'm not selling everything. I'm strategically picking out of what I'm willing to let go for the greater good, using the investment into the metals as what we're supposed to be stacking for, bigger goals like buying property, having it for emergency fund, having it for retirement, having it to pass down to our kids. That's why we do this. We're preserving our wealth. We're not letting the banks take control take control of our money. We're taking control of our money back. And that's what I'm doing. So when I talked in that video about, setting aside 20% of your stack, that may or may not apply to you. I was just throwing it out there for food for thought, to get people to thinking, because some of them are stacking cash so they can buy the dip, but it's all situational dependent. I talked about the people are going to sell at 50 and then they'll move the goalpost. Like here again with AG Stacker's video, why do you stack? Why, I said I have, what I want to pass down, what I want to use for my retirement, and what I have for short-term flips that I'm willing to, if something comes up, hey, this stuff goes first, and that's what I'm doing. I set my goal to pay the house off. I'm selling out of that box. I'm selling it, and it's paying off. Everybody has their own strategy. They, like PMG says, you stack what you like. Get back into the core philosophies of stacking, which I like this conversation the group has started now, where, what's your strategies? What's your end game? Have you reevaluated what you're doing, or your goals changing? That's something that as a stacker, if you're new to it, you'll find this out, after you've been in it a while. Stackers that have been doing it a lot longer, they've already done this. They've evolved they started with one thing and then they've crept into other things. I started stacking and then I moved more into numismatics, but I do both. I consider myself a stack collector. As I stack and I collect. I'm more on the numismatic side, not so much on the silver series, like the Queen's Beast or the superheroes or the Robin Hood or the ship series or the Cook Island, or the what do you got, the peanuts. I don't buy into those because it's just a sticker on silver. Same with the Lionel train set. But you know what, if you like those, by all means, collect what you like. PMG's right. Collect what you like. Stack what you like. I say in my videos, you do you. My videos are all about the way I do it, what I see, what I like. I try to diversify everything from ASEs to Krugerrands to the Libertads to the Morgans. I'm big into the Franklins. I have 13 complete collections of one collection is proofs. The other collection, some of them are BU coins, and a lot of the collections are just circulated coins that I started because I was tubing up Franklins to put in the guardhouse box. I figured, well, hey, I might as well break them out and make sets while I'm doing it and have some fun. But then I get into the sterling silver. I try to save some sterling silver from going to the melt. Some like collector pieces, like the letter openers and salt and pepper shakers, the baby spoons, stuff I think that has a really strong collector base outside of just the silver value. That's the kind of stuff I'm putting back on the sterling. If you watch my flea market video, you saw the rings and the bracelets that I had out for sale. I literally saved those from being sent off to be scrapped. Those were going to the smelter. They're the gold-plated sterling. Have no idea what the stones are. I'm sure they're all not real stones. But that was nice-looking jewelry that was going to be smelted. Some of it was the gold plate on it, the higher-end costume jewelry and everything. I saw an opportunity. Hey, I can take this stuff, sell it at the flea market, make a profit to somebody who likes the jewelry and stuff, make a profit, or I could list it on eBay once I get my eBay store up and running, and I can make some money off of it, or I can hold it long term because it's nice looking pieces, And so far, I've sold enough at the flea market to not only pay for that lot that I bought, I'm actually in the profit. I'm reaping the profits now on that stuff. It's all been, what I've sold is paid for it, and like I said, I'm sitting back. Every time I sell a piece, it's all profit. So that's what I do. You do you, like PMG says, stack what you like. I really like this conversation that got started through PMG and AG Stacker. I hope more channels get in on it, weigh in. What's your opinions? What do you like? What do you don't like? What are your goals? You know, are you stacking for permanent? You're just gonna, you don't care, you're willing it off? Are you stacking for your retirement, where you'll sell a little bit as you need? You know, are you flipping? You know, are you buying for the quick flip and to add to your stack, or are you flipping everything just to take the profits now, or every chance you get to supplement your income? You know, what are you doing? Because everybody's channel, everybody's input, the more input comes in on this, the more ideas that get shared. And that's one thing I want to add in. When I started, I had my favorite channels. My favorite channels have since changed, and but I learned something. And the way my stack and the way my collection evolved is because I hear something from this channel that I really like, and then I combine it with something I heard on another channel that I really like, and then maybe I hear something different on a couple other channels, and I pick and choose. For my personal stack, I've picked and choose from all the ideas out there, and I've narrowed down what I'm trying to do for my personal stack based on all of that. And through my channel, I try to show, you know, this is how I do things. Whether you agree with what I do or not, I'm just showing what I do to try to help somebody else. Maybe they pick up an idea, or it inspires them to do something that they haven't been doing. And you know, all these ideas, the channel involvement and back and forth and adding to the discussion helps everybody. It helps everybody in the long run, because it gets us away from the pumpers and the dumpers and the FOMO pushers and all of that. You know, it brings us back to the core values. Why are we doing this? You know, what's everybody's goals, and everybody's goals are different. You know, what are your goals? You know, that's what we want to know. Is there something special you're doing? Is there something you're looking for? Do you see a potential with a certain product out there that, you know, hey, everybody, you're missing a deal on this? You know, do the math. You know, I look at some ideas and I do the math. Sometimes it doesn't work for me. Other times I see something presented out there and I do the math, and it's like, oh my God, I've been missing out on this. So I need to adjust my strategies a little bit. And that's something we need to always evaluate as your stack grows, as your collection grows. Maybe your taste changes. Maybe you don't like a certain coin because they change the design and you want to get into something else. You know, different things could happen. The goalpost can move at any time. You know, people have different reasons for doing different things, different goals. You know, the community, we like to hear this stuff, and you know, it keeps the motivation going and spreading those ideas throughout the community, so everybody can benefit from something here or there. But anyways, rambled long enough. Let me know your thoughts down below. I will leave a link to Poor Man's Gold, AG Stacker 1776. I'll leave a link to Mark Lewis. I'll leave another link to Gen X. And let me know your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if anybody else, if there's a video I've missed out there that's added in the discussion. Let me know so I can watch it, and we'll see you on another one.